What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy, Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Tuesday to all of y'all. Hope everything is going smooth. Hope your day is going well. Hope everything is going all right for you. And you know what? Honestly, if you didn't know, I want y'all to know this. If you are a fan of Pizza Hut like I am, Pizza Hut has been doing $2 pan pizzas for carryout deals all month for July. So today and I think next Tuesday are the last two days to get $2 pan pizzas. Now I will let you know there's a limit on 4, and whatever topping you get, that's the topping you have to get for each one. So you can't get like 2 pan pizzas and 1 be pepperoni, 1 be cheese. They have to be all pepperoni or all cheese. But if you're a fan of pizza, you're trying to get something cheap for the kiddos, and you're looking for something that's budget friendly, hey, Pizza Hut, $2 pan pizzas, save you a bunch of money. But let's go ahead and get into today's docket, man. Just want to bring y'all some light and some news, and honestly, it's about the Carolina Panthers and everything that we stand for, and I think y'all will like it. I think you'll enjoy it. But guys, we're going to talk about a few camp updates that have come through, and first thing is, as many of you probably have already been notified and have seen, Tommy Tremble and Dan Chisena have been listed on the active physically unable to perform list. And then our punter, Sam Martin, has been placed on the active non-football injury list already on day 1 of camp. So there is that. There kind of is a little bit of a bummer. We knew Tommy was going to be on there. Dan, I didn't know so much. I'm really shocked by Sam, but we'll get into that. But also, I do want to address that Carolina, before camp even started, Carolina actually had 14 players work out yesterday before training camp. And here's a list of the 14 players that were there in question. And as we see here, you have 1 wide receiver in Savon Rhea, I'm going to say that's how it is. 3 tight ends in Justin Ball, Tyler Mabry, and Graham Walker. Tyler Mabry actually does have some familiarity with Canales, so there may be potential there as to, hey, he knows our system. If we need somebody to come in while Tremble's out just as a 3rd or 4th string, he could be the guy. Then you have 2 defensive ends in Jalen Allen and Nate Matlack. Was that 4 or 5 linebackers? 1, 2, 3, 5 linebackers in Michael Batten, Kenny Dyson, Jaheim Thomas, J.J. Weaver, and Debo Williams. And then 3 DBs in Garnett Hollis, Trey Swilling, and Nick Whiteside. And if I'm being honest, and if I'm being truthful about what I see here, I think that Carolina is just looking for more depth. I think Carolina is looking for more depth, potentially on the practice squad, maybe on the back end of the defense, something of that nature, just in case, hey, we lose a player, we get somebody hurt, we have another body to fill in, even if it's for special teams. Even if it's just a special teams body, just be like, hey, all you do is kick off, all you do is punt, all you do is kick return, all you do is punt return, whatever the case may be. You might only even do field goal block, bro. But you know what? You're on the field. Your jersey's being sold. So I think that's really what Carolina's just trying to do here, just fill out some extra places, probably for practice squad and end of year type of deals. But again, I got to go back to the top of the hour and the top thing. I was very surprised by Sam Martin being placed on the non-football injury list. And it is for a hamstring injury, which makes me kind of concerned. When I saw the message, this was my response.
Huh?
I'm a little concerned. But they say it's nothing major. They say he is okay. They say he will be fine. He ain't going to miss no significant time. He should be good to go by week 1. So I'm not going to speak any more negativity into that. We know what Tommy Tremble and his back surgeries, he's probably missing the first 4 weeks anyways. That's what I was counting on. Because, usually with players like that, they always say, hey, you know what? We're just going to put you on the PUP list. You're just going to miss first 4 weeks. You'll be good the rest of the year, so on and so forth. Dan Chisena. And please, y'all let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. It might be Chisena. I hope I'm not pronouncing it wrong, because I've been saying Chisena this whole time. But Dan, him getting placed on the PUP list to me actually helps in terms of the wide receiver cuts room, because at the end of the day, if he wasn't a clear starter or clear rotation guy, put him on the PUP list, then put him on the practice squad. You ain't even got to worry about it. You ain't got to cut him or whatever the case may be. He's just not on the full-time active roster. That makes it easier for Carolina to narrow down their receiver room, and you have to cut one less guy, and it doesn't feel as bad. I think that's the moveset here. I think that's the direction they're going. I don't foresee anything otherwise. But, Dan, I do hope that you do get your PT and you do get your rotation time, because you've probably been working hard to get there, man. But that's how I feel. Those are our day one updates. But, man, the fact that camp is started, I still got to.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Especially due to the fact that today the vets return. The day the vets check in, tomorrow practice begins, and it's going to be in full swing, y'all. It's going to be in full swing. So I'm happy about that. Next, coming up on the docket, man, we got to talk about this. So ESPN's starting to get like Bleacher Report at this point, bro. But ESPN ranked teams based off their projected starting lineups for this upcoming season, right? And if y'all can't tell by my expression, it already doesn't make sense. But here we go. Here's where ESPN had it. So our projected offense, honestly, no shockers here. Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Tyrone McMillan, Adam Thielen, Xavier Legette, Jatavian Sanders, then O-line, Ike Ekwonu, Damian Lewis, Austin Corbett, Robert Hunt, Taylor Moton. Now, here's where the shockers honestly came in. For our projected defense, Derek Brown, Tershawn Wharton, A'Shawn Robinson, DJ Wonnum, Pat Jones, Josie Jewell, Christian Roseboom, J.C. Horn, Michael Jackson, Charles Smith-Wade, Trayvon Moorick, Nick Scott. And our overall ranking came out to 30th.
Huh?
30th? 30th? 30th. That's how you feel. Yeah. And it was written by it was an article combined by three analysts, so-called analysts. Mike Clay, Seth Wilder, and Aaron Schatz. I've seen Seth's work. Mike Clay and Aaron, come on now. Like, first things first. Like, actually, do I want to get to that point? Yeah, I can get to this point because I really want to address it right now. Bro, this ain't even the correct depth chart y'all have on y'all website right now. Like, that's not even the correct depth chart, because literally where A'Shawn Robinson is, that's supposed to be Bobby Brown III. One of the edge rushers is supposed to be Nick Scorton already. Like, what are we doing here, bro? You're projecting a lineup that you ain't even got right? That's not even. And when I say your website, I'm talking ESPN.com. Y'all could have checked that. Y'all really could have checked that. Even Panthers.com has. Bro, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here, dog? Y'all could have done better, and y'all. I'm trying not to get triggered because I know they don't care about Carolina like that. But then let's go into the details of what they said about Carolina. So, our biggest X factor to them, or our biggest strength actually, Carolina's biggest strength in their eyes, is actually our wide receiver group. Shocking. Mike Clay says, wide receiver. There's some projection here, but receivers should be the team's main strength. Carolina boosted the position on draft day by selecting Tyrone McMillan with the number 8 overall pick. He'll join 2024 first-round pick Xavier Legette and Jim 2024 undrafted free agent Jalen Coker on the perimeter, with reliable Adam Thielen, 8th in the NFL with 665 receptions since 2017, back for more at age 35.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Kind of shocked. I'm honestly really shocked they didn't go running back. I'm really shocked they didn't go running back because Rico and Chuba would have been as much as they've been talking about Bryce and being skeptic about it, receivers are only as good as the quarterbacks playing. Honest to God. Running backs can be good whether the quarterback's throwing well or not. So I'm very shocked that they didn't go with the 2,000-yard rushers. But let's continue. Moving next, they said, what was our biggest weakness? That would be safety. And Mike Clay spoke on this one again. Mike said, safety. Xavier Woods, who led the defense in snaps last season, is gone and will be replaced by free agent signing Trayvon Moehrig. That could be an upgrade, but the rest of the team's safety situation is uncertain, with Nick Scott, Damani Richardson, and fourth-round rookie Lathan Ransom competing for snaps. Neither Scott nor Richardson impressed with limited snaps last season, and the Panthers allowed 6.94 yards per dropback, second worst in the league. I'm going to disagree here too because I felt as though you could have said corner. You could have said corner here. I wouldn't say D-line even though our front seven was honestly garbage overall last year, and we all know that. Our rush defense was atrocious last year. So that could have been the answer. However, due to the fact that we're getting Derek back, we signed Bobby, we signed Tershawn, that D-line shouldn't be an issue. Our front seven should not be the issue. It is literally the back seven or the corner. I would be inclined to say corner, but due to the fact that we've all been harping for safety help in Blackman and Simmons, I can see why they said safety. Following that up, the person they deemed as Carolina's X Factor, Nick Scorton. How, Sway? But let's see what you had to say, Seth. Rookie edge rusher Nick Scorton. If Scorton doesn't immediately threaten the quarterback, the Panthers will be in trouble in terms of outside pass rush. DJ Wonnum, DJ Johnson, and Pat Jones II are other options, and none appears likely to cause much disruption. That opens a key role for second-rounder Scorton. How you going to say this man is the X Factor when you don't even have him listed in your projected defense? I don't get it. I don't get it. You don't even have him listed in the projected defense, bro. It makes no sense. Not only that, do y'all just forget that we also drafted Princely Umayyalon? Like, what? Like,
Message.
I'm trying to remember something. Why is it y'all seem to forget that we also drafted Princely Umayyalon to go along with Nick? That's gonna make everything so smooth. So I don't know, man. I really don't get their thought process here. And then lastly, they said, who is the player for us to watch or the non-starter to know? And that would be Jalen Coker. The undrafted free agent didn't make the Panthers roster until late September, but he finished the season ranked 19th among qualifying wide receivers in the ESPN tracking metrics and had an 83-yard touchdown against the Cowboys in December. He's no longer a starter, but he'll still play a role in the Panthers offense and could blossom if someone ahead of him gets hurt. And that's by Aaron Schatz. I agree with it, but I think Jalen's a starter. I genuinely think Jalen's a starter. I 100% believe we are going to be a 4-wide set team. If we go to running backs, we might go 4-wide with 2 running backs and no tight end, potentially, just due to the fact that we ain't got Trimble. And we don't know how far along Mitchell Evans will come by then and how tired Jadavion Sanders could be. So I could foresee it. Do I bank on it? No, but I could foresee it. However, the player to watch, definitely one of the players to watch. Him, Jimmy Horn, like those are two guys I definitely would say like the non-starter to know, or Trevor Etienne. I definitely would agree with those three when it comes down to it. And then lastly, guys, do want to talk about this. So Bryce Young had a one-on-one with Thomas Davis on the Panthers YouTube. And if you haven't seen it, it's actually a really good clip. I really liked it. 7 minutes long, really nice. And TD just had a nice one-on-one with Bryce talking about everything that you would expect Bryce to be talking about. For example, first thing TD brought up was asking if Bryce had some influence, because word's been getting around that Bryce had some influence on Carolina drafting Tedero McMillan in the first round. And here's what Bryce actually had to say about that. One, I will admit, Bryce did confirm he had some influence in there. I will admit that. He did confirm, yes, that was true. And he said this. He said, I was super grateful just to the organization. Obviously, they're the guys that do all the due diligence. Everyone up there, Dan and the entire front office, they do all the work. But just for them to at least hear me out, they're just asking for the people that I've been around, and obviously T-Mac being one of them. I've been around T-Mac since we played each other in high school, grew up not far from each other, so I've been around him a lot. Because of that, I've always been a fan of his game, kept tracking him in college as a fan. I was super excited that he was available where we were able to pick, and I'm super excited he's a Panther now. So to me, that lets me know Bryce does have that voice in the front office. If he says, hey, yo, I think this guy can help us, they're going to take what he says into account. And I like that because that keeps everybody in lockstep. It keeps everybody in sync on the same page of like, hey, yo, here's what he thinks. Do we all agree? Do we all disagree? Now, I'm not saying Bryce is always going to hit it out the park. Bryce is always going to be right, X, Y, and Z, because that's not the truth. We're human. That's not the truth. But what I am saying is the fact that the franchise is listening to the franchise quarterback makes a smart franchise move. You get what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm putting down. All right. And then next, obviously, TD asked him about his bounce back from last season, how he was able to come back last year the way he did. And here's what Bryce had to say about that. He said, I was just always trusting in God. Ultimately, he's the author of my life, my journey. So, whatever it is, I always want to make sure I'm constructive, make sure I'm doing my part. Not always going to be able to control my circumstances or what's going on, but I didn't want to let anything dictate or define me in what I did. I wanted to make sure and challenge myself to be consistent regardless of what my position was, what my role was. That was definitely something I was proud of myself for during that time I wasn't playing. I'm super grateful for my teammates and everyone coming back when I did come back. And shout out.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for.
Shout out to the Panthers organization, honestly, for going back to Bryce and not completely giving up on him. Shout out to Bryce for staying locked in and being ready when the opportunity came back because, hey, bro, when it came back, you balled out. Carolina, you're looking real smart for sticking with him right now. So, honestly, when it's all said and done, this looks like that could be the turning point to something beautiful, something phenomenal, something just magical, and I'm looking forward to it. But with all that being said, guys, now it is time for your favorite segment. It is time for Panther Nation to speak their truth. All right, man, let's go ahead and get on the docket. So the first one that comes up comes from the homie, Lucaso, W8W. My man says, I'm hyped for training camp. We get to see more of the team in action. I don't personally think that we should be ranked 27th. I know Bryce is an if right now. Not he'll keep playing like he did in Bama and in the last few games, or if he stays at the level that he was at those first few games. But I really hope he stays at the level he was at during the last few games. But I'm not going to say what rate we should be because I'm still sort of new to ball. Hey. Hashtag. Hey, man, it's okay if you're still new to ball. I like what you You got the right mindset. And I'm glad you're excited for training camp. We all should be excited for training camp because that just means we're getting closer to football. If you're still new to it, it's okay. Takes time, takes effort, but you seem like you know what you're talking about. So I can respect it. I can respect it. Next comes from Bville17 Bville-17. My man says, wow, English is so hard today. Jesus Christ, man. There's a rookie scale. At pick 51, that was what he was going to get no matter what. They were holding out on the guaranteed money. Now, I know there's a rookie scale, and I get it. The further you go down, the less money you get. I understand that. Shoot, I even know the contract from Tedero McMillan to Nick Scott. Well, not Nick, but like, just even from T-Mac, but like, basically from an 8th round pick to the 24th is a huge drop off. And that's still in the first round. So I get it was a rookie scale. I'm just mad we had to wait that long for $8 million. You know what I mean? That's really my issue. Like, what? How much money wasn't guaranteed for him to be like, yeah, I got to hold out all the way to July? Because I'll say this. For his $8 million contract, if more than 50% of what the guaranteed he has now isn't what was guaranteed, all right, cool. You got way more money guaranteed. If it was less than that, if it was like only 10% difference, bro, you wasting our time. Like, if it was literally, okay, your guaranteed money goes from 2.1 mil or goes from 2.05 mil to 2.1 mil. Bro, you'll be all right. Jesus. And then lastly, comes from the homie Gavin Van Note. He says, Scorton signing for only half of what he should have might mean we're going to sign or trade for someone worth a bit of change. Hopefully a safety or corner or maybe a linebacker. Hey.
Message.
Okay, Gavin. Okay. I see what you're cooking up. I see the vision. I see what you're seeing. I get it. I don't know if that's what they're going to do because I feel like they should have done that before camp if they were going to. But maybe at the trade deadline. Maybe. But I see what you're going with. But, guys, that's all I have for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be reminded of when these videos drop. Next, man, comment below and let me know. How do you feel about some of the PUP and injury moves that have happened on day one already? Are you bummed? Are you like, we knew it was going to happen? Are you worried in any way, shape, or form? 2, do you think our projected lineup should be ranked that low at 30th? And 3, how do you feel about Bryce Young and the way how do you feel that Bryce Young already has influence in draft picks going into, obviously, this upcoming season and the next draft and upcoming drafts in the future? Let me know in the comment section below because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Much love to all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding.